It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's your Feel Good Breakfast show right here on S3, and we're doing something special right now. Of course, we're having so much fun on the show. We're going to continue to do exactly that. And it's time to reflect and get honest in another round of moments, memories, and more. Now, today we are talking about dreaming big. And the lady joining us today is a lady who had the African dream. Yes, you heard it correctly, and you guessed it correctly. It is Vicky Sampson joining us this morning alongside the beautiful Jamie Lee Donberg. And we are going to be doing something special this morning, ladies, asking you questions, getting you some insight, and of course, loving to hear your opinion. Now, the first question we have this morning is, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you actually be doing for a living? So if you weren't celebrating using that gift that you've been given as a voice to entertain the world, what would you actually be doing?
It's interesting. I never thought of this question for you.
Well, to be honest, actually, I haven't thought of it in years, but to be honest, I always thought I would become a veterinary surgeon.
Oh, wow, okay.
When I was a little girl, I was like, because my love for animals and that is what I thought I would be before I realized actually that I have a singing voice.
I have a gift.
Yeah, and I mean, that didn't happen until I was in my teens, that this is actually my career, and it's possibly going to become my career, but that's what I wanted to be.
At what age did you start singing?
I think I was about 3 years old when I got this little toy red piano, and that was it. I've been singing at family events and school things. And
the seed was planted early on.
My dad was known as South Africa's Johnny Mathis.
Wow.
My late father, yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for that red toy, because otherwise we wouldn't have been blessed with this voice.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Jamie, what would you be doing, by the way?
It's so funny because
you've done quite a bit, yeah.
It's so funny because I actually just answered this question on the Insta Live last week, but there was no backup plan for me. I just knew that I was always going to be in the entertainment space. So it was either this or I probably would have still been on cruise ships entertaining people around the world, but there was no backup plan. It was either TV industry, being on stage somewhere, but in front of an audience, in front of a mic, on the stage. That was always a dream.
That's cool. I like that. There's no plan B. This is what I'm doing.
You have
no
to
compromise.
What about you, Mr. Nature Boy? Because you could do anything in this world.
I honestly would probably, I think the stage in my life where I'm at right now, I take so much joy in helping people, and I'd use whatever skill I have to do exactly that. I'm obviously an advocate for moving and inspiring people to spend time in the outdoors and fill up their cups. So for me, I do anything involving guiding people in the mountain, maybe being a lifeguard or a personal trainer or something along those lines, or maybe a life coach even.
You've done all of this.
Gotta figure out my lifestyle first.
You're living out your dream.
Talking about dreams, though, we always dream big, especially as we were kids, right?
Right.
What was one of those dreams that you had, that you dreamed, that actually materialized, Vicky? Because I know there's a couple for you, surely.
Well, I don't think I've actually fully realized my potential, my dreams.
Okay.
I have a very big dream at this point still that has been sitting with me for about 15, more than 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's a project, actually, that is geared towards this continent in Africa and the healing of our people and our nation and of this continent, because, you know, we still have this fight now with our wildlife, the rhinoceros fight and all of that. And, in fact, African Dream has just been used now for a little campaign to save the rhino. But I think that is, for me, right at this moment in time, is still a dream that needs to be worked at. And it's huge, but it's amazing how God works in your life, because things have been falling into place and people have been coming alongside me.
Puzzle pieces come together slowly.
The pieces are coming together, because at some point I had to go and say, I can't do this, oh my word, I'm going to leave it alone for a moment, and I've done that. And what's happened is that all these things are now coming together towards realizing that dream. And it's called Conversation Peace in Africa.
Oh, wow.
That is the project and that is the dream. And it's bigger than me, and it involves everybody. You know, so
absolutely love that. And just the fact that we're talking about it now adds to that materialization.
Yeah.
Dream big, speak about it, Mzansi, and get that out there, because you're the first one that needs to believe it before everybody else does. So I love how you mentioned that. Jamie, your side?
His time and his season. This job right here, I remember in 2018, I was still working on cruise ships, and I made a status on Facebook, and the memory always pops up where I said, you know what, one day I'm going to quit my job working on cruise ships and work on SABC3 on Top Billing. That time Top Billing was still around. And I manifested that, and a year later, I was actually auditioning for this job, and here I am being a whole TV presenter on Expresso.
You realize you need to actually be careful what you wish for, and be careful what you
100%.
Because look at what I'm witnessing right now. It's all materializing, right?
you know, I think that is part of, for human beings, it is not the things that we can't do that scares us. It's the things that we can do. And I'm learning that is even as I'm growing older in years, you know, that the things that I fear most are the things that I've desired in my heart and dreamt about and at times that I believe I could do, but because I'm too scared to take that first step. And so hence, if you have a dream, and a very good friend and I have just been talking about the power of dreams, and it was actually confirmed for him yesterday in some message that he saw somewhere on Instagram, and he sent it to me, and it has to do with exactly that. Everything starts with a dream, and where does the dream come from? It comes from our Creator. And when you've had that dream, that means that God will provide everything you need and you require, even if you don't have all this, because nobody does. We don't have all the pieces.
Yeah.
We all have to come alongside
Always
each
figuring
other.
it out.
So he's part of that. He is the master planner. So you just have to believe in that dream and you have to keep going. No person on this earth has the right to tell you, oh, that's nonsense. Oh, that can never happen.
For sure.
Yes,
but
I love
in
it.
his
I
time
love
and
it.
his season
In
as well.
his
His time, his season.
I love it, ladies. Thank you so much for sharing this insight. I feel like these conversations are always absolutely valued. I think
And
from Zanzi that's listening, been absolutely inspiring too. And with that, don't forget, your dreams are big. They must be scary. And you need to speak it into existence. Like you've seen right now on this roundtable discussion, it is all about making it materialize. So today's your last chance, of course, also to enter this week's competition. And that is a simple one that is going to be so much easier for you to answer. Now you've got to tell us what your ideal winter's night in is, right? So what is your ideal winter night in going to be? And you can share your answer with us on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter page and use the hashtag #MoreThanARusk in your entry. Now, the best entry will have a shot at winning the 2,000 Rand cash prize plus the OUMA RUSKS hamper. Now, don't forget the T's and C's do apply and can be found on expressoshow.com. And with that being said, don't stop dreaming, don't stop believing, and don't stop chasing your magic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky.
There's more in every dip with OUMA.